Danny, just a quick word on the FA Trophy game against Welling at the weekend then. You were there. What did you make of the youngsters' performance?
I think that they left everything out on the pitch. They gave it their all. I think we had a few 16-year-olds out there, not long turned 16, and a couple of 17-year-olds, sorry, not long turned 17. So it's a bit of a wake-up call for those lads when they see that a team really struggling in the National South actually are all right. Got some good players and very physical. So hopefully it'll benefit them in their own individual careers, whether it be here or elsewhere. But yeah, the main thing I was watching on from the stands, as you saw, but the main thing I was looking for was a group of young lads that just kept going and tried their best, and they did that. I think obviously the best team won, but no, I think that experience at home against Southport here and then the defeat at Welling hopefully put them in good stead for their careers going forward.
You've worked with younger players throughout your career. How much will they take from that, just that one single game? Because I imagine it'll be quite a lot.
Yeah, they will. Even like being on the coach and having pre-match meal, and I think we had a couple of hundred fans there, and they're not used to playing in front of any supporters, really, a lot of them. So those sort of things will stay with them for a long time. Hopefully, it's the start of glittering careers for them all. But as we well know, football doesn't work like that. So I'm sure there'll be a few that fall by the wayside, sadly. And it's great that they've had those couple of experiences that will stay with them forever. As I say, we wanted to win the game, obviously, but you're not going to lie, when you put a whole team of youngsters out and youth team players, the odds are that the National South team were going to come out on top, which they did. We're disappointed by that, but now obviously all our focus is on tomorrow night's massive game.
And on to first team matters then. Brandon Horton has become the latest player to sign a new contract. He's really earned that, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah. Yes, he has. And like a lot, he's still a young lad, so he's going to have sticky periods. He's going to have a few games where it doesn't go his way and mistakes are made. The way we play, he's an attacking fullback. Sometimes that shows a bit of defensive vulnerability within everyone, let alone a young fullback. So he's learnt from bad times this season, and he's learning from good times at the moment. With obviously Bailey out at Eastleigh, the spot is his to lose. And at the minute, he doesn't look like giving that shirt up. And really pleased for him. He's a cracking lad, one of many cracking lads that I always bang on about at this football club. And he's a massive factor while we're doing so well this season.
He's one of several new players who have signed new contracts recently. It looks like from the outside that this is going to be a group of players who you're hoping to keep together for some time.
Yeah, I think that's the plan from the manager. I think we're hoping to obviously achieve great success this season. Long way to go, and we'd like the players that have been here from the start and the overspill from last season as well to be the ones that get all the credit, because the credit will be firmly at their door if we were to get promotion. Brannon's one of them going forward. I don't think there's a huge gap between the National League and League Two. You'd like to think that whatever team went up this year from the National League, those players could certainly hold their own in League Two from any club in this league. So yeah, we're obviously hoping it's us, and we're hoping that the players we've got in the building can get us over the line this season, and then we'll start worrying about next season.
I don't know whether you'll be able to answer this one or not, but is there any indication that Armando Dobra is going to be signing a new contract at Chesterfield?
Oh, good question, Liam. Yeah. Coming at them hard this morning, didn't you, mate? No, listen, I said to you the other day with Dobbs, there's obviously, we're not silly, you hear rumours and people throwing out names of clubs that are watching. There's nothing that I know about. Obviously, the powers that be will deal with his contract issue and all that. All I see every day is a lad that's happy to be here and really pleased to be playing for Paul Cook. The boys love him. He gives his all every day. So I can only go on the indication that players give me. And I've seen players that want to leave and they don't act like Dobbs. So I think that, I would like to think that he'll be here and be one of those people that maybe get us over the line in a few months to come. But in terms of saying no one showed an interest, that's not my place to say. I've got no knowledge of that. But I do know that Dobbs is certainly very happy at the club at the moment. I'm sure we'll be looking forward to hopefully being in that starting lineup tomorrow night.
Fair enough. And just on injuries then, Ryan Colclough, how long is he going to be out for?
Ryan Colclough, I think, will be at least 2 to 3 weeks. The positive news we had after the game was correct. There's no fracture or break within that leg stroke ankle, but with the size of the swelling, I think he's gone back to see the specialist, which says there is a bit of damage within it, but still maintaining that view. It's not a fracture or break, so it's the best case scenario of a really bad injury, if that makes sense. And me saying 2 to 3 weeks could be being very optimistic, and I'm hoping that my comments are very, very pessimistic, and he comes back before makes a rapid recovery. But yeah, no, I think at least a couple of weeks, certainly the next few games. But Ryan's very, very keen, and he's a tough lad. He's a very tough lad, so he's not one of them that feels he has to be 100% to play. If he feels he can get out there and do a job, he will do. But yeah, it's certainly not just a bit of bruising. It's a bad injury, but no longer than sort of 2 to 3 weeks, I'd like to think.
Given that time scale then, do you have to have a discussion about whether you do need to bring in an extra body then?
Those discussions always take place, Liam. You're spot on with that one, mate. They always take place. I think you saw when James Berry came on, and I know the supporters like him already because of his pace, enthusiasm and directness, and he done great for the little goal, didn't he? To that little ball for Michael Jacobs to slip in Will Grigg to make it 3-0 the other night. So we've got that sort of type of player in the building. If you want to go that way, obviously when Dobbs plays out there, it's a different type, or Mandeville on the right, Michael Jacobs can do it, Ollie Banks has been playing higher up. So like I said earlier in the season, it's very we've got to be careful as coaches and staff to bang on about what a great squad we got, and then there's a little bit of a blip with it, and we want to start changing the world and bringing a load of players in. That's not to say that has not been discussed, Liam. There's certainly lads on the radar, and we're certainly hoping that, obviously Tyrone's just come back from an injury, we're hoping that now this doesn't start an unlucky theme of people getting injured, because we've been really, really, touch wood, really lucky with injuries this season. Ryan Colclough being out for a few weeks is a big blow. At the moment, we feel there's some great players to come in and fill his boots.
Yeah, and just on that topic then, how's Miguel Freckleton? I know the other day you said he'd got a bit of a tight hamstring.
Yeah, he will be a couple of weeks with a hamstring injury. But like I say, he's a fit young lad. Sometimes you ask him every day how he's feeling. He says, I'm fine, but players will always say that. So yeah, there's a hamstring injury in there. And when you are a player like Miguel that not relies on it, but he's got so much pace, and that's one of his main strengths. Hamstrings are something you can't play through. If you're a big slow centre forward or centre half like I was, you can get away with it. But when you're sort of young and vibrant and rapid, you can't risk it. So he'll be a couple of weeks. But like I said about Ryan, hopefully I'm proved wrong and he gets back sooner.
But on the plus side, you welcome back Jamie Grimes from suspension. How big a boost is that?
Great. He's been really, really professional during his time out. I was disappointed to lose him, and that was, hopefully the last time we lose a player through a red card this season. That'd be a tough ask, but hopefully it's the case to be. And it's great. Tyrone and Palms were excellent the other night, but it's always a lovely headache to have when you've got your captain coming back from injury. What do? Do you put him back in? Do you stick with what? So they're decisions that the manager and us will make over the course of the day. But yeah, it's lovely to have Jamie back available for selection, Liam.
And on tomorrow night's opponents then, obviously one of the very small number of teams who have managed to beat you this season. What do you make of them going into tomorrow night?
Good team. They've been a good team for the last few years now. And we know that although Gateshead had their so-called problems the other night, and it was quite a comfortable evening, we're not expecting this to be a comfortable evening unless Altrincham feel like being really gracious and giving us some early goals and that, which I'm pretty sure they won't do. They'll want to come here and play their normal game. They've got playoff aspirations and beyond. The management there have done a cracking job there. They've got some good players. Ryan Colclough speaks very highly of the setup and how they do things. So yeah, it's going to be a really tough game. They play a very similar formation and style to us. Obviously, there's differences within that setup, but they've usually been playing like a 4-2-3-1 with the three flair players, as the manager likes to call them, behind the one striker, creating and being exciting, and none more than the lad Con Clark, who I know there's another one I ask about Dobra, but there's lots of social media rumours about that lad, isn't there, himself, and he is a cracking player that can create something out of nothing. I know he didn't play in the trophy, I don't think he started. Maybe resting him for tomorrow against us, who knows? I'm not in their camp to say, but we'll have to be mindful of all their threats. But yeah, the lad Con Clark is certainly one of the better players in the league.
Cheers, Danny. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks, Liam. Top man.